What's up, everybody? Trying something new. Got these new mics. Testing out this mic. This way we could bring Thought of the Days, brought to you by Pineapple, anywhere, anytime. And I've always actually been wanting to find a way to create a vibe, create a scene. And so for those that get to watch the YouTube video of this, I am lighting some incense, turned on the crown. This is the pineapple crown. The whole vibe, the whole energy is all about being a pineapple, which is the name of this podcast, which for most who know me, being a pineapple, I am DJ Pineapple. And to have the ability to create this persona for myself is really cool because it helps me to kind of own a new identity or to own a bit of authenticity, which can be reflected as a vibe. I was talking to a couple of friends, and sometimes when I feel like the thought of the day for where we're at now, a lot of people are trying to find a sense of belonging. I think with the energy around the world, there's a lot of just weird transitions happening. And so with all the transitions, it could be things that happen at work, school, family, strangers, travel, holidays, relationships, being single, all these different things. And I have found that my only way to tackle the uncertainty, the only way that I feel like I know I can handle ambiguity, is to find ways to unlock peace personally. And it's weird because my journey, and I talk about this in other episodes, is having been able to go on a journey of self-acceptance, self-growth. It weirdly coincided with my ability to solidify my brand as a personality, a DJ, a creative, someone that just really wants to provide an experience for others. And that's why you see content like this, content where I have living room sessions. I just DJ my living room based off of a vibe. And it's primarily for me because it's what brings me peace. But willing to share it with others because you never know that, someone going on and listening might be inspired or might find their peace and go through that journey as well. And so these thought of the days, I've always just felt like I've been experiencing a lot of insights, good learning experiences around kind of what I've been going through, challenges, constantly trying to find ways to keep myself at peace. And I've found that these thought of the days, right, this podcast, this vulnerable vlog, if you will, it's an outlet. And I primarily create the outlet for myself. So if everyone's wondering, why am I all of a sudden creating content? To be honest, it's just for me. And I think it's reflective of this notion of owning who I am, my authenticity, my identity, right? Um, while yes, pineapple is an alias, I really do feel like it embodies my soul, my vibe, and my energy. And not saying that everyone has to come up with an alias or anything like that. I think for me, as a potential way of growth, and maybe it's even a coping mechanism, I found that it allowed me to maintain a sense of passion and purpose. And it's a passion and purpose that I only hold true to myself. So I don't create Pineapple to build an audience. I don't create Pineapple to become like a famous DJ or anything like that. Pineapple honestly is a way for me to reflect and look at the mirror and be like, oh yeah, that is my superpower, right? And my superpower isn't, being a pineapple, but what I found is there's this amazing, quote that's all over Etsy when I was looking for pineapple posters at the time of calling myself Pineapple. And basically it said, be a pineapple, stand tall, wear your crown, and be sweet on the inside. And so, when I saw that, I really resonated with it because it kind of talked about, you know, well, yes, the pineapple fruit itself is sweet and it's tall, and yes, it has a crown. There's a lot that you can extract from just relating to those words. And so for me, oftentimes when I relate to those words, I always think about this notion of how do I stand tall, right? Someone that is considered, a short king, if you will. It is something where like I do believe that if I stand tall, which means I carry pride in who I am, or I try to always stay confident in myself and be acceptant of myself, it allows me to stand tall. And it's not about having to be arrogant or taking up the space with others, but that in any type of environment, because I've started to find peace and acceptance for myself, I can stand tall, and I stand tall for me. And then it goes to, wearing your crown, again, going into this idea of confidence. And oftentimes, for myself, I never really grew up in like a privileged setting in that sense. And seeing where I'm at today, honestly, being able to somehow manifest this life has been shocking for me. But when you look back at your life and sometimes how you've got here, it's okay to see evidence in the sense that, oh yeah, I can do this. And I am someone that suffers from imposter syndrome a lot. Like, I never think I'm good enough. I never think like I'm the best person there or the most qualified or those type of things. But what I have found was when people obviously compliment you, I'm the worst actually at receiving compliments. But, I have noticed that when they do compliment and through repetition and through patterns, you know what? Yeah, I can claim these things that I find to be intuitive for me, right? Like giving to others, being patient, trying to listen, being an active listener, trying to be as humble as I can be, and let that be my crown, right? Like, let that be something that I own, that I'm proud of for myself, that I should see myself as someone of high quality and standard. So then, this way, as much as I respect others people's time, I need to make sure I respect my own time at the end of the day, right? And being able to respect my own time, hopefully others will also understand that's reciprocal, that I will do my best to always respect their space, their time, and vice versa. And wearing your crown isn't supposed to be something of privilege in that sense. I think it's just a mental state of being that we ourselves, when we actually take the time to accept ourselves, can see ourselves as being royal in our own worlds and in our own reality. And then the last one is just being sweet on the inside. I think that's the one I resonated with the most, right? I think my personality, and for many people that know who I am overly optimistic person sometimes, and it could be, a, a blessing and a curse, if you will. But I just don't, look at life at something that if something is bothering me, I want to find a way to try to navigate outside of that or to tackle it, and to find the best, most fun way to do it. I like to think of it as I'm someone that has an inner child, and people talk about age as a construct, and I honestly tell people that honestly, like my state of mind is very much still in a child state. I don't want to take things too seriously. I love the innocence that you have when you were younger, right? Because you're allowing yourself to learn and you're allowing yourself to absorb in like at the purest state and form. And obviously as we grow older, we try to protect ourselves. And of course you want to have like a good balance. And I think it's a good reminder when you stay sweet on the inside that there's always that innocence and authenticity of what you are and who you are, and what you bring to the world. And so, this whole vibe, this whole energy, it feels crazy because it takes steps, right? This is probably what, episode 5, and I started off with just my laptop on photo booth in Korea, and now I'm here, and I'm in a place back in LA that I love, and I got to curate my space into something that I love living in, and to showcase that the journey that I've been on has really been, at the end of the day, identifying ways to find peace. And, throughout all the chaos, throughout all the transitions, I think that's why I love this notion of be a pineapple in its simplest form, right? Nothing complex, just be you. And so that's kind of where, this episode, when this comes out, um, I really have started to establish a little bit more around who I am, what I want to bring, and at the end of the day, just be a pineapple, right? My goal is that the logo itself of what I've created for the Pineapple brand, it's reflective of a crown because of the fact that I believe in collaboration. I believe in the things that I get inspired by collabing and getting creative with other individuals and sources, that they too can wear their crown. And so I saw the brand and the vibe and the energy really reflecting just my personality. So for instance, if I were to collab with another DJ, they get to wear the pineapple crown, right? If I collab with another artist, they also get to wear the pineapple crown, right? It's not exclusive. It's always about making sure that everyone has a platform, and the platform is just being who you are. And I definitely feel that at the end of the day, even though this is more of a test episode, I'm testing the mic, I'm testing the vibe, I'm testing the energy, I'm still gonna post this out there because it's starting to help me find a way to reflect no matter what I do, right? So I do these at the end of the day for myself, to make sure that I listen to myself, that whatever I'm feeling, I could speak to it, I could feel it, I can share it. Because I know that sometimes when these things get internalized, they start to build a lot of tension in our bodies. And so I could wake up super stressed, I could wake up like feeling really tight. But doing this and making sure I treat myself out is really good. And one of the things I'll be able to do today, I'm really excited, is I'm actually going to get to go to Disneyland with some friends. I haven't been able to go to Disneyland in such a long time, and it's not that I didn't want to, it's just the timing and me living in Australia, New York, and things like that kind of got in the way. But I just wanted to kind of utilize this episode to just kind of quickly share this notion of, where I'm at, which is identifying how to find peace wherever you are. And I think I'll probably unpack this in another episode. I just wanted to quickly kind of share this new vibe, this new setting. Because I have this awesome portable mic, I could probably do it in my car now without having my car sounds all over the place. Maybe I do one of these podcasts over in Disneyland. Maybe I do it over by the ocean. I love it because I like the idea that, the settings can inspire you. And most often not, when you see me recording myself in an environment to be able to be vulnerable in these vlogs or for this podcast, it's often because that environment has found peace in the things that or I have found peace in that environment. And, there are ways to really kind of identify how to kind of move through the chaos and still kind of hold on to peace. And a lot of it actually starts with self-acceptance, self-love, and building in that confidence that no matter how chaotic the world is, because you love yourself so much, you can find peace no matter where you're at. Because I do work in a very kind of high intense atmosphere, right? We really try to bring a lot of value to the clients that we work with, and we try to do it in ways that can be faster and can scale bigger and all these different things. And so it brings stress because for myself to have to lead teams and be an example and to create culture, it takes a lot of my time and my energy. And so oftentimes when you're giving yourself to others, you feel like you haven't given enough time for yourself. So that's why I would like to say that, in another episode, this is just a little preview, a little taster. Just finding that peace is something that I think is really good. People can go to yoga, people have coffee in the day. There's different habits and rituals that you can create for yourself. I was talking to my somatic mental health well-being coach, and she always is there to listen to me, and she always reminds me to try to start to find ways to activate in a routine these things that bring peace. So for instance, every morning I do love coffee, but I love the act of either creating the grinds and pouring the coffee, or the act of being able to walk to the coffee shop in the morning, to have that time to myself. Because oftentimes when we don't really realize it, we've given ourselves to so many people, whether we're texting, we're on social media, we're calling, we're working. You're naturally giving yourself to others. And sometimes when you're by yourself, you don't have as much time to actually resonate and be present. And so I do want to create a linkage of, identifying peace can also be in building rituals in which you build a way to stay actively present in that moment. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 3 hours. But I think it's just the act and the intent of giving yourself that time allows you to actually activate the peace that you desire. And it gives you a little bit of a prioritization. And so going back through to this notion of, this brand and who I am as Pineapple, and having this neon sign that's my crown, right? I found that you never know what things will become, but when you stay true and at peace with it, the outcomes are never really a priority in your life. It's just the process and the actions that you do. So I'm excited for what's to come. I'm about to go to Disneyland, super dope. I have my coffee, right? This is amazing. I love it. The sun's out. LA is beautiful. I'm an LA kid at heart for any one of my friends in New York or across the world that want me to move back to those locations. Hopefully sometime soon. But I think where my piece is at, where I'm following right now is the LA vibe. It's super soft. It's slow. It's chill. I know there's traffic, but patience at the end of the day, and the chaos, you can find peace anywhere. So if there's anything that this thought of the day is throughout the transitions and the chaos, how do you find your peace? And we'll go into maybe a deeper dive of like my experiences and what I've started to come up with in terms of where peace lies, or how to activate it. But I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. For those watching on YouTube or any of the social platforms, yes, you get to see the cool vibe and the energy. For those listening on the podcast, hopefully this Rhodes clip-on mic is pretty sweet. It's not an advertisement. I'm definitely not in a world where I can start getting sponsored. But wanting to just make sure I provide a little bit more of an experience and better quality for everyone, because for myself, I would love to, more than not, just be there for anyone whenever they need it. It's the pineapple way. At the end of the day, just be a pineapple. Stand tall, wear your crown, and be sweet on the inside. Signing out. Peace.